it continues the complete and total brutality of Chainsaw Man, and what completely makes Denji stand apart from all the other like big shonen main characters that are around him within Weekly Shonen Jump, even stuff like Shonen Magazine and Shonen Sunday. Just Denji just is completely a wild ass guy, and we saw a good display of what really sets him apart in terms of just being an absolute mad lad within this chapter. So obviously, where we left off, Denji jumped down to fight the Eternity Devil, and his whole plan, because he couldn't get to the guy's pretty much his heart and kill him, that he was going to cause the Eternity Devil enough pain that it would just completely surrender the fight and kill itself in pretty much just want to be put out of its misery. And there was actually what I think a really interesting bit in there about it talking about how it it went against the chainsaw before. So I'm wondering if that's Pochita, Denji's dog devil, well, dog that was a chainsaw devil that we saw in chapter 1. He'd been with for years, and puts a little bit of extra spin on some hype for his character. But there also was a little bit in here that I think might kind of be his main character thing, because all the main characters usually have not usually, they really all do. They all got something special, some specific ability. Obviously, they're the main character. They are supposed to have something that makes them stand out enough to, to give them that special spot. And Denji seems to be, because I don't think they've said it before, but I'm fairly certain that it's only human blood that heals and recharges devils. But Denji, obviously, he's not a normal devil. He's like a hybrid between human and devil. And it's not like a fiend where it's a devil that took over a human's body. Because we know that they really just merged together, and like it fixed Denji up after being dead for a while and being chopped up, and just pulled his body back together, healed him, and brought him back to life. So him being something different makes sense, at least for now. Obviously, we haven't seen anybody else like him. There probably will be in the future. And there's, like I said, theories maybe the Gun Devil is of a similar species to Denji. But once he just takes a huge bite out of the chainsaw, or out of the Eternity Devil, drinks his blood up, and then just the chainsaws come back rather than ready to fight, and he just goes completely just insane from there. Just has so much, you can tell he's just having a good time, just mauling up on this guy. And Power did note that the way that he was talking definitely seemed more like a devil at times, and then he just kind of like had this weird look on his face, like, what do you mean? And you could tell that the devil side of him has its own little influence. Obviously, his normal self, even if he's still gonna be ready to bring out the brutality, you wouldn't think that's a shonen main character again, in a weekly Shonen Jump especially, that the main character's plan would be to convince the opponent to commit suicide. That's pretty vicious. But we get a nice little flashback with Himeno talking with her teacher, and saying how, the reason that all of her previous partners pretty much, they all died because they were too normal. They've already explained how the powerful devil hunters aren't what the devils are afraid of. They're more afraid of the crazy ones, because they're afraid of what they don't understand. Obviously, you're not going to be able to really understand a crazy person. And I thought that, again, I talked about it the first time I mentioned that, and I'm going to say it again just because I really like that. I think it just means that every single time we get a prominent devil hunter, they're going to be crazy. There's going to be something wrong with them, which is going to be really enjoyable to see how they go down the line. And during the flashback, you actually get to see Himeno and Aki kind of like talking about, she was thinking about going to a private sector, getting a transfer with him, and being only to fight like specific weak devils, and getting a good job. And Aki's just like, nope, not doing that, because we know his whole entire drive is to kill the Gun Devil for all the atrocities committed, but also being responsible for his family's death. It was a kind of like a really interesting moment, because it was very noticeable in the last flashback that Himeno clearly has a thing for Aki. Like, it's undeniable. But back at it, like, Denji just does not stop. Every time you think that it looks like he's down, he just intakes more blood, and then just revs up the chainsaws again with that pull cord on his chest. And this panel was so cool. It's when he's just talking about how every time he slashes it and gores up the Eternity Devil, the dude's gonna keep gushing blood, and every time he gushes blood, Denji's gonna keep drinking it and regenerate, gain back stamina, and get the chainsaws revving. And so he's pretty much a perpetual motion machine. And the fact he says the Nobel Prize is as good as his makes me kind of curious, because it wasn't his plan at all. It was all Power's like goofy plan. And so it makes me wonder like how much he really can think straight while he's in this form. Like I feel like he only knows like certain specific things he heard beforehand, and it kind of just like runs through his head. And maybe it's more of like I would say like last minute, like last moments kind of thing of like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do, and that's just gonna be in his head, like set on track until he runs out, really. And there's like what looked to be a little bit of a flash forward, like a little time skip, and I thought like maybe a couple hours, but Denji's actually been fighting the Eternity Devil for 3 straight days, which again just shows like as long as he's able to keep taking blood, he can pretty much have infinite stamina and just keep going and going and going and going, keep those chainsaws revving, keep his motor just pumping. And it was such craziness. And then you just see the Eternity Devil and all his kind of like fleshy constructs crying and screaming and trying to figure out like, we can't do this anymore, we need to figure out a way to end this. And then they just pretty much put up his core, his heart, and he's like, just end me, just do it, please. And Denji he just seems upset about it. He seems annoyed because it was just starting to get fun for him, and then just chops the dude right in half. Again, it's just, dude, so vicious. It doesn't feel like a Shonen Jump series. It's just crazy. And then it was such just an enjoyable read throughout the entire time of seeing how seeing what kind of weird world really Chainsaw Man continues to create, and how much we're really going to see going forward. Because even though it's a lot of it is like blood and gore, there's a lot of really fun character interactions. Like I really liked Aki and Himeno's thing. Like even when Aki just kind of like laying in bed and he's like, damn, how long have I been asleep? And he's like, yeah, Denji's been fighting him for 3 days. And then she just crawls in bed and starts cuddling with him. And again, he needs to take a hit. He needs to get on that hot ghost chick with an eye patch. Come on, dude. But anyway, tell me in the comments what you think about this. Again, I've been spreading it. I've been trying to get people to pick up Chainsaw Man the best I can. Again, everyone that's tried it so far has really liked it. It's fun. It definitely just keeps up a really interesting pace, fun characters, really interesting design, and again, a lot of gory action, which is always fun. But other than that, drop a comment below and what you think about this series and what you thought about this chapter. I'd really appreciate it if you thumbs up the video, befriend the like button and the subscribe button, and check out my other videos. But other than that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening.